Welcome, folks. I am Chris, your host, and I am so glad you're here because I have some savings tips today for you that you're going to absolutely love. If you are interested in retirement planning, these are going to be some really good tips for you too. Again, I'm your host, Chris. I would really love and appreciate you liking and subscribing to the channel. But let's jump right in. And the first thing I want to bring to your attention is the 529 College Savings Plan. Now, I'm sure some of you are already probably investing in something like this, the 529 plan. Vanguard, Schwab, a number of brokerage type companies, finance companies, provide those types of plans for individuals. Some of them are geared towards particularly people that live in high cost of living areas such as New York or possibly California. Certainly you can look at those plans specifically if you're from there. Otherwise, well, you don't necessarily have to be in one plan or the other. And what am I talking about when it comes to how this can be great for your retirement planning? Well, regardless of whether you have children that you want to provide college education funding for, you can still open one of these and you can open it in your own name. The money that you put into it grows tax deferred, tax free basically. And if you take it out for college related expenses, you are not going to be penalized for doing so. Why is that important? Well, just like a Roth IRA at 59.5, there are no additional penalties if you remove the money for other things. Meaning that if you have a Roth IRA, if you have a Roth IRA, which is great and I highly recommend that, but if you open a 529 plan, let's say when you're 30, and you intend to retire when you're 50. It's a nice 20-year, time span of work. As long as you have had the funds within that 529 plan for, as of the making of this video, 15 years, then those funds can be converted into or rolled over into your Roth IRA plan. Now that's fantastic because if you do that, you're not paying any taxes on it. You may pay a little bit of tax depending on how much is capital gains versus the money that you put into it. But if you've had it in there for up to or over 15 years, then your tax advantages for that are phenomenal. And it is a great extension of the Roth IRA from that aspect. Now, if you choose to fund it and use it for your own children or your grandchildren or a neighbor's child or a best friend or something like that, then that's great as well. But again, this is an opportunity for you to use the 529 College Savings Plan as a retirement plan for yourself. Or you could also use it for your kids or grandkids, etc. So that's the first tip, and it's a super one, and I think a lot of people don't know that you can convert that over. It certainly is an opportunity, a missed opportunity at that, for a large percentage of the people that live within the borders of the United States, or those that are United States citizens and they live abroad somewhere on a more permanent basis, because they should still be eligible for that without issue or concern. The second money savings or retirement planning tip that I want to give to you today is the Health Savings Account, or the HSA as it's also known. Why is it important? Well, for one big reason. It rolls over from year to year to year. So let's say you work for an employer who offers you an HSA or a health savings account, and you put a couple of $1,000s into it this year, and you don't use those funds for any type of medical expenses. Well, that rolls over into the plan or continues and stays into the plan for the following year. let's say for the next year and the year after that. You put money into it and you've not touched it. Your expenses have been so low it wasn't worth taking the money out, or your copay was $4 for that prescription that you needed from your last doctor's appointment, and you were fine with just paying $4. So that money is going to continue to roll over year to year, and you can keep putting money into it. Now, not financial advice, not tax advice, and obviously things change from year to year when it comes to how the government runs its programs and its plans. So your mileage may vary. Before you get too, involved with doing all the things that we discuss here on the channel, think about talking to a financial advisor. Talk to your HR department if you work for a company that provides this health savings account or HSA type of plan. They can guide you and they can give you the intricacies of having the plan, investing in the plan, and how that can roll over from year to year. Now, as of right now, there's no methodology that you could convert your HSA into like a Roth or an IRA type of financial vehicle. It's not possible. Never has been, maybe never will be. But again, with the HSA, it rolls over year after year after year. And again, it's important because it does that. As we get older, obviously our bodies break down more. We have more health issues. When you were 20, you could do all kinds of things. By the time you're 50, you can't quite do everything that you did when you were 20. By the time you're 70 or 75 years old or 80, your health has probably taken a pretty good hit as far as your needs for medications, the type of doctor's appointments you're going to now versus when you were 20, that sort of thing. If you had that HSA and it was funded very well, you can pay for those doctor's visits. You can pay for your copays. At the time that you are looking into the future, you may be able to pay for your premiums for Medicare or your health insurance. Things along those lines as well. So it's certainly a benefit that's not just going to fall away. Now, when I say that, some of you may be familiar with the flexible spending account, the FSA. This type of account does not roll over year to year. If your employer offers both plans, the HSA and the FSA, I would highly recommend you go and talk with them about the intricacies of both, just so that you get their side of the story, okay? You don't want to just take the advice of a guy on YouTube like me, right? So I would talk to them about what is most beneficial for you in your life circumstances. Maybe the FSA is a better plan for you. Perhaps the HSA is the better plan for you. Whether it's the flexible spending account or the health savings account, one of them will provide better benefits for you specifically, and only you can make those decisions with the advice and the guidance of your HR department or whomever is managing that plan for your corporation, your company, etc. Now, if you're only allowed to get the FSA, then be very considerate of what the limitations are. Okay, again, at the end of the year, it doesn't roll over. You at this point, you kind of have to use it or you lose it. And there are also things that you may or may not be eligible to pay for out of that health savings account or the flexible spending or savings account, the FSA. Okay. You need to look into both of those. Again, it may come down to your personal situation or your family situation may be better with one than the other. And it may be totally the opposite for someone else that you know. So again, get some guidance and advice from someone that's really involved in that, the management piece. They know the ins and outs, and also look at the fees that you could pay for, or the copays and things of that nature that you could pay for out of one versus the other, okay? But again, either plan can be beneficial. Again, it depends on you personally and your situation. But I think for a large majority of people, the FSA is probably not the better plan, simply because it doesn't roll over from year to year, while the HSA does. Now, the last one that I want to touch base on today, well, it's an important tip, because particularly if you're self-employed, you may or may not have ever been given guidance or information on the fact that you might be eligible. Now again, that key word is might or may be eligible to use a tax deduction for your healthcare premiums. Now, when I say healthcare, I'm talking about your Medicare fees, co-pays, things of that nature. Supplemental plans, as I understand, are not eligible for deduction from your federal taxes. However, if you are an independent contractor or you are self-employed and you have insurance which you pay for yourself, then you might be eligible for a tax deduction at the end of each year for the premiums that you pay for that. Now, why is that important? Well, if you own your own business and you show income year to year, you are eligible, as of the making of this video, to deduct on your on your federal taxes the premiums that you pay for your various insurance products. Now, again, you have to be self-employed or an independent contractor for the most part. Now, I'm not going to say that's always going to be true. It is, as of the making of this video, true. Tomorrow it may not be. You never know from now until the time that you actually need health care, which maybe it's years from now. But something to consider. If you are self-employed, again, take a look at the possibility that on your federal income tax return, you can take a deduction for your health care premiums, again, for your insurances, possibly for Medicare. And again, you need to do some of your own due diligence, look at what the program requirements are, whether you are eligible. I do know that the big thing is you have to be an independent contractor or a self-employed person, and you must file a federal income tax which shows that you had income, positive income, and, well, yeah. I mean, you have to have positive income, right? The other thing is you have to be itemizing your deductions. So there's nowhere on the 1040 short form where you can just say, hey, I paid $5,000 for my insurance this year, my health insurance, so I'm just going to write this off my taxes. You have to be able to itemize. So if you're running a business or you are self-employed or an independent contractor, I'm pretty sure that you've got itemized deductions. But again, you have to go back to that federal tax law. If you're using something like TurboTax or one of those types of online products, H&R Block has an online product as well that you can use. There are a number of others, Tax Act, there are just probably dozens by now. That should be embedded in the software, where as you go through your tax return and you begin to itemize your deductions as a self-employed person with positive income, that's probably a question that may come up where you can input that information. Now, don't make stuff up, because you know what? Uncle Sam don't like you making stuff up. If you make stuff up and then they come and audit you, you're going to be in a world of hurt, because you're going to have to justify why you put that number there. If you don't have documentation that shows why you put it there, they're just not just gonna slap your hand and say don't do it again. They're gonna fine you. They're gonna charge you interest, charge you for back taxes, and they may even go back years prior and audit you as well to find out if you've been lying on your taxes or mistelling the truth, shall we say, in years past. Just pay your taxes, do the right thing. Again, you're going to benefit from it as long as you are eligible. And if you're not sure, or if the software program you're using doesn't spell it out very well to you, or you're still curious, they typically will have a helpline. You can call them, and if you still don't feel comfortable with the answer that you got, call the IRS. Call the IRS, or go and actually have a CPA or someone like H&R Block or someone like that, where you can sit down with a preparer in the office, go through everything, and you can discuss, hey, I've got these insurance premiums I'm paying, I'm self-employed. Is it not possible that I can deduct that from my federal tax bill? If the answer is great, or yes, then great. If it's not, because you don't meet all of the eligibility requirements, don't get upset, because again, if you happen to be able to, well, some people have more than one employer. You're self-employed and yet you work for another company. If you fall within that realm, then you may still be covered and be able to pay for your insurance premiums by using your HSA, right? Or your FSA, depending on which product is better for you after your discussion with your guidance, the person from your HR department. All right? So, great. We got some great tips. We've got some good information out there. Again, seek and get good professional advice. If you want to watch tons of YouTube videos and go and look at the IRS webpage, well, you're going to find a lot of information and a lot of it will be good advice. Some of it may be dated. If it's not current information, if it's 2 or 3 years old, it may not be correct in today's time frame. But do your research, do your due diligence, and find out what it is that you're seeking, so that you don't fall foul of Uncle Sam and the tax system, because they can be pretty vengeful if they think that you've been out and out lying to them. So, all right, well, that's all for today, folks. Again, I hope you liked the video. Subscribe, please. The YouTube algorithm loves that. And if you subscribe, I will too. But I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate you watching the video, especially if you went all the way to the end. I try not to make these long, but I love finance. I love to help folks plan for retirement. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, morning, evening, whenever you're watching this video. And we'll see you again on the next one. Bye-bye now.